Chapter 91 Humbly asking for advice and laughing at Hongchen, please subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With Dokai added to his body, Su Yu's soul power surged. With the increase in battle armor, the original soul sect level soul power suddenly had a sense of oppression that far exceeded that of a high-level soul king. Martial soul possession. Xiao Hongchen instantly assumed his strongest fighting stance, with level 5 soul cannons covering his entire body. Inside the metal barrier, Xiao Hongchen was full of confidence. Boom 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 boom. Xiao Hongchen took the lead in attacking. Dozens of soul-guided shells arced through the air, blocking all of Su Yu's routes. Su Yu displayed the blue-silver domain. The first and second soul rings shine, the two soul rings shone brightly, and the effect was at least doubled compared to before. Su Yu felt that there was a surge of soul power in his body, which was used to make up for the consumption caused by the battle armor. And there was still some left over. He mobilized the battle armor to increase the attributes of his whole body, and the energy of the boots under his feet exploded, and he rushed out instantly. As fast as a bolt of lightning, a layer of soul power shield was formed on the body surface. Su Yu hit two soul-guided cannonballs head-on and left the area locked by the soul-guided cannon, and he was largely unscathed. Since it was a show, Su Yu naturally broke out with all his strength. His speed was already blessed in the blue-silver domain. With the increase in armor and the explosion of combat boots, his speed could be said to be top-notch among soul emperors. Blue-silver crit gun. Almost in the blink of an eye, Bluesilver Grass gathered around Su Yu's body to form a spear. The spear is like a sword, stabbing with sword energy. Xiao Hongchen's soul guidance cannon continued to fire, and at the same time activated the defense system. A soul guidance shield was formed outside the metal fortress. Boom! The 5th level soul shield shattered, the spear struck the metal fortress outside Xiao Hongchen's body, and sword energy exploded. What a strong injury! Jing Hongchen's eyes fluctuated, and this shot directly shattered Xiao Hongchen's 5th level soul shield, and almost penetrated the thick metal barrier. When he summoned the metal barrier, Xiao Hongchen used the principle of the soul guide to strengthen the metal barrier. The metal barrier itself is also condensed in the form of a soul guidance device. It can be regarded as an all-round huge thickened and enhanced soul guidance shield. The defensive effect can also be compared to the defensive 6th soul skill effect of the 6th ring soul emperor. However, it was still barely resisting Su Yu's shot. The blue-silver crit gun is just one of the weaker soul skills in Su Yu's explosion. The blue-silver herb was inherently weak, and Su Yu made up for this shortcoming after absorbing the spirit ring of the mutated sword grass and possessing the God-slaying sword. Now that the God-slaying sword is out, the blue-silver overlord spear attached to the sword energy alone can break through Xiao Hongchen's defense. Moreover, it is not the sword energy attached with the 4th soul skill, but Su Yu attached with runes. Once combined with the 4th soul skill, the ability and strength displayed by Su Yu, and the comparison before and after made Jing Hongchen understand the effect of this primary battle armor very intuitively. Xian Ziwen, you can start thinking about the research and development of intermediate and advanced battle armor. Good. Xian Zi's words were concise, and he was extremely passionate when he saw the scene of Su Yu wearing a battle armor and bursting out with the Soul Emperor's combat power. This is just a primary battle armor. Jing Hongchen turned to Meng Hongchen and said, Meng, you and your brother will also go to Xian Ziwen's place to study. Dokai also needs to be made by oneself to be the most suitable for oneself. Only by designing and producing it yourself from beginning to end can it best suit you. Su Yu will also make his own battle armor in the future. As a soul mentor, Xiao Hongchen and Meng Hongchen would also make the best ones by themselves. As for Jing Hongchen himself, he will probably only consider making advanced battle armors when the theory is perfected. The mid-level battle armor won't boost him too much. Xiao Hongchen's fortress was almost penetrated, and cold sweat flowed from his forehead. He hurriedly used his soul power, and the gaps in the fortress began to heal. However, Su Yu pulled out the God-slaying sword and used his 4th soul skill. A sword energy completely cut through Xiao Hongchen's defense. It was Su Yu's first time to experience the increase of the Dokai, but he used it like an arm and a finger. The Dokai was almost completely integrated with himself, and he did not lose much control over his power. A sword cut through Xiao Hongchen's defense. Although there was still a wound on Xiao Hongchen's shoulder, it healed quickly after using the 1st soul skill. None of them triggered the trigger-type defensive soul guide on Xiao Hongchen. The mistake is not a big one. Okay, let's go. Su Yu and others returned to Xian Ziwen's research room, and all the soul masters who had just watched this battle at the Mingda Hall martial arts arena woke up from a dream. Why is his explosion so strong? I can see that most of this is due to the soul guide armor he wears. They are all at least level 5 soul mentors, and they are also discerning. It's just that the increase in the soul guide armor can reach such a level, and thinking back again, the process of Suyu wearing it at the beginning, that I just don't know how to make such a set of armor, if the difficulty of production can be reduced. Soul guides seem to be completely integrated into the battle of soul masters. Suyu was very satisfied with this battle armor, but after all, he didn't make it himself, so he still left the battle armor in Xian Ziwen's research room. This first piece of battle armor has a special meaning, so it is appropriate to keep it here as a collection. As for Suyu's own battle armor, it can be made during the process of obtaining the soul ring with Kong Deming, the effectiveness of the primary battle armor has been verified, and Xian Ziwen is full of motivation. His expectations for the intermediate battle armor are even higher. Xiao Hongchen looked disappointed. How could he be defeated so easily? He looked suspicious of life. It must be that the primary battle armor is too strong. Yes, that must be the case. I also want to learn how to make primary battle armor. I want to build my own battle armor. When the time comes, with the addition of the battle armor, the 5th ring can directly set up a level 6 soul cannon, and the strength will definitely be taken to the next level. Master Xian Ziwen, can I learn how to make this battle armor from you? Xiao Hongchen figured it out before Meng Hongchen persuaded him, and offered to learn. Jing Hongchen looked at him with admiration. Unexpectedly, Sun Tzu, who was extremely passionate about soul cannons, would so quickly accept the model of integrating soul cannons with the soul master system in the form of armor. It seems that after one battle, the effect is full. If we want to promote battle armor in the future, maybe we can let some soul masters assemble battle armor to compete with those soul masters who insist on the soul guidance turret system. Upon hearing Xiao Hongchen's request, Xian Ziwen waved his hand. No, don't call me master, I can't bear it. If you want to learn, you can come to my place to learn. Just call me Teacher Xian from now on. The teacher Xian Ziwen refers to is just the so-called teacher who teaches. It is similar to the relationship between teachers and students at the Sun and Moon Royal Soul Engineering Academy. The relationship is a bit strange. Xian Ziwen and Jing Hongchen were just superiors and subordinates. Strictly speaking, they were of the same generation. After all, they were both students of Kong Deming, and Xiao Hongchen is Jing Hongchen's grandson, and he is called Teacher Xian Ziwen, and Suyu is his brother Xian Ziwen. Chapter 92 Hunting the 100,000 Years Evil Eye Tyrant. Please subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suyu also had enough plans for his battle armor and packed the necessary rare metals before leaving Mingdu. His quota of rare metals is huge, especially after winning the soul fighting competition and performing outstandingly. Jing Hongchen gave him a very high amount of rare metals as a reward. Suyu felt that he did not need to consider the shortage of rare metals in a short period of time. In addition, it is worth mentioning that Hui Yuhao seems to be about to break through level 30 and obtain the 3rd soul ring. The evil eye tyrant in the evil forest and his spiritual eyes are very compatible. Unfortunately, the time was not right, so you will leave tomorrow. But Hui Yuhao's breakthrough is estimated to take 10 days and a half, so you finally discussed the development direction of intermediate battle armor with Xian Ziwen. The applicable scope of primary battle armor is actually the Soul King level. Of course, soul sects can also equip it, but it may cost a lot. Suyu is a special case. Intermediate level battle armor is suitable for Soul Emperor and Soul Saint level, especially for Soul Saint. The increase can reach the maximum, because a complete set of intermediate battle armor will be built according to the level of a 7th level Soul Guide. At the same time, we will also refer to the Soul Ring linkage principle of Soul Saint to achieve a leap forward increase. At the same time, Suyu also hopes that the intermediate battle armor can increase the flying ability, and begins to further optimize the wearing of the battle armor. The primary battle armor still needs to be controlled and worn, and Suyu hopes to be able to truly summon the intermediate battle armor. This point requires Jing Hongchen's compression technology. This is also the core technology that enables Meng Hongchen's Ice Dream armor to be worn at any time. Having truly seen the effect of the Dokai, Jing Hongchen did not care about it and handed over the technology to Xian Ziwen. As for rewards, Jing Hongchen is first and foremost the leader of the Mingde Hall. He is honored to have contributed to the improvement of the level of soul tools in the entire Sun-Moon Empire and even the entire Douluo Continent. He only has a little skill and his contribution is nothing more than a contribution, not to mention that Xiao Hongchen and Meng Hongchen were also able to learn and master the Dokai technology immediately. I provide part of the technology, and you provide the research process and results. This is also very profitable, the day after testing the primary battle armor. Teacher. I heard that your primary battle armor is very effective. Kong Deming is very well informed. Even if he only develops methods within the royal family, he can get the trends in Mingde Hall. Yes, teacher, the primary battle armor can initially increase the strength of the Soul King by 1.5 titles. Suyu himself couldn't judge according to common sense and was not suitable to report, so he roughly added the effect of the primary battle armor to Xiao Hongchen to explain. If Xiao Hongchen were equipped with that set of primary battle armor, his explosive combat power would definitely reach the top level among Soul Emperors. If the Soul Guidance Cannon is upgraded to level 6, his method of fighting against Soul Saints who do not use their true form of martial arts will be worthwhile. Kong Deming was very interested and began to understand the principles of Su Yu's primary battle armor. Su Yu will naturally not be stingy. The subsequent higher level Dokai is inseparable from the teacher's technical support. So you would have to wait a few years to study it by himself. Xian Ziwen is only an 8th level soul master. Many of the techniques involved in the intermediate and advanced battle armors are already beyond his grasp. What's more, in Su Yu's imagination, the super battle armor that can increase the power of title Douluo is at least a full set of 9. Super Soul Guide, this is not something Xian Ziwen can accomplish alone. Are the soul rings linked? Kong Deming was surprised by the direction of the intermediate battle armor that Su Yu and the others had planned. The knowledge about the linkage of soul rings after Soul Saint was just something he told Su Yu more than 2 months ago. Unexpectedly, in just 2 months, Su Yu had already considered it for the development of real soul guidance devices. According to our previous assumptions, linking soul rings in advance can be regarded as a secret technique, and the requirements for soul masters may be very high. But if you use intermediate battle armor to assist, then even Soul Emperors who may have intermediate battle armor in the future can experience the Soul Master. The effect of ring linkage. Su Yu didn't expect this. His original idea was to build the intermediate battle armor first so that it could be barely used at the Soul Emperor stage. After reaching the Soul Saint stage, the Soul Master's soul ring would form a linkage, and the true power of the intermediate battle armor could also be stimulated. The soul rings are integrated into the core of the Dokai and interact with each other to drive further growth of the Dokai, and now the teacher has provided him with ideas. Yes, why do you have to wait until Soul Saint to activate it? The Soul Emperor can inspire it. Soul Masters at the Soul Emperor level can also integrate their soul rings into their battle armor, and use the core magic circle in the battle armor to realize the linkage of the soul rings, thus bursting out with stronger power. The Evil Forest is located in the west of the Sun and Moon Empire and covers a vast area. The Ming capital was in the northern part of the Sun and Moon Empire. 5 days later, Kong Deming and Su Yu arrived at the outskirts of the demonic forest. For 5 days, the pair would stop for a few hours each day. Taking advantage of these few hours, Su Yu made his own primary battle armor. Kong Deming also witnessed the entire production of primary battle armor for the first time, although it was the first time to make a level 5 soul guide. Su Yu made no mistakes and performed perfectly throughout the process. The only problem is that he cannot directly and continuously produce all the components of a complete set of primary battle armor like Xian Ziwen. Fortunately, there was enough time. Su Yu spent 5 days and used the rest to complete the production of all the components of the primary battle armor. Sure enough, a battle armor made entirely by yourself is the most suitable for you. Although the first primary battle armor previously built was based on Su Yu's template, it actually has a wide range of adaptability. Among them, the specific increase for Su Yu is not obvious. The fluctuations in your soul power alone are equivalent to the Soul Emperor level. Su Yu is the ultimate martial soul. The concentration of his soul power is far beyond that of ordinary soul masters, and his life attribute is even deeper. At the same time, the amount of soul power is also far beyond that of ordinary soul masters. At this moment, under the amplification of the Dokai, his soul power has completely reached the level of the Soul Emperor in terms of fluctuations. The battle armor is basically a set of soul tools of the same level as a soul master. 14 pieces of soul tools of the same level are extremely expensive in terms of consumption. However, after equipped with the battle armor, the soul master's burst is stronger, but the battery life is not affected. If you don't wear the battle armor, you can always fight with the power of the soul sect level in battle, and if you wear the battle armor and fight with the power of the soul king or even the soul emperor, the time you can maintain has not been reduced. Not only because the battle armor strengthens the recovery ability of the soul master's soul power and reduces consumption in the form of overall operation, but also because the battle armor itself can expand the soul master's soul power. The battle armor merges with the soul master. The battle armor itself has also become a container of soul power. The so-called endurance gap lies in the fact that the other side is a true soul emperor. If he fights at a combat power level corresponding to his own realm, he can last longer. Wearing a battle armor, Suyu's strength is enough to reach the soul emperor level. Let's go. Our mission is to quickly hunt down a 100,000-year-old evil-eyed tyrant and absorb its soul ring without alerting the evil emperor. There are many 100,000-year-old soul beasts in the evil-eyed tyrant group, so there is still hope to achieve it. Suyu felt regretful. Unfortunately, Xian Ziwen's soul ring storage soul guidance device has not yet been developed. Otherwise, it would be more convenient and safer to just hunt down a 100,000-year-old evil-eyed tyrant. Chapter 93: The Method of Spiritualization. Please subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This time it was quite difficult, and Kong Deming was a little hesitant to bring Suyu over, but be careful and there is still a chance. Kong Deming didn't ask his apprentice to come over and die. At level 96, he already possesses the combat power of an ultimate Douluo, so it is not difficult to resist the evil emperor. What's more, he also brought 3 level 9 fixed soul-guided artillery shells. Once the evil emperor is really defeated, he can only fire these 3 level 9 fixed soul-guided artillery shells at the same time. The Evil Eye clan is extremely powerful. In the Sun and Moon continent, powerful soul masters are extremely rare. It is rare for a person to absorb a 100,000-year soul ring in the 9th soul ring, let alone absorb multiple 100,000-year soul rings. Kong Deming's second martial soul was able to absorb the 6th soul ring, making him the first person in the history of the Sun and Moon continent. The demand for 100,000-year-old soul rings has decreased, and the number of 100,000-year-old soul beasts has naturally become quite large, especially the Evil Eye clan with the protection of the evil emperor. Generally speaking, except for the large-scale power of the Sun and Moon royal family, almost no one dares to provoke the Evil Eye tyrant, who is a 100,000-year monarch of the Evil Eye clan. Even when hunting down a 1,000-year-old evil-eyed tyrant, one must be extremely careful. At least Contra must be on hand to do so. The Evil Eye clan does not only have spiritual attributes. The Evil Eye clan refers to a large group, and not all individuals are the same. They all have spiritual attributes. In addition to spiritual attributes, they may also contain other attributes, such as ice, fire, or corrosion. Among the Evil Eye clan, the purer the attributes, the stronger the talent and strength. The Evil Eye Tyrant Lord, also known as the Evil Emperor, is the second among the top 10 ferocious beasts in the Douluo Continent. It has the purest spiritual attribute. Their branch is also the noblest among the Evil Eye clan in the entire Evil Forest. In addition to the pure mental attributes, the second noblest one is naturally the Ice Tyrant or the Fire Tyrant, whose main spiritual attribute is supplemented by the Ice attribute, or the Fire attribute is supplemented. If you add attributes such as corrosion, the natural qualifications will be even worse. The 9th spirit ring of Kong Deming's Silver Moon martial spirit comes from a 100,000-year-old Ice Evil Tyrant, whose main spiritual attribute is Ice attribute. As for the 6th soul ring of the Sun martial spirit that he wanted to hunt now, he also planned to hunt down a 100,000-year-old Fire Evil Tyrant with mainly spiritual attributes, supplemented by fire attributes, and no other miscellaneous attributes. Kong Deming had already collected the information on the 100,000-year soul beast that was useful to him. After all, he is 150 years old, and he has been the master of the worship hall for at least 100 years. He has not lived such a long life in vain. The 100,000-year-old Fire Evil Tyrant really does exist, and he has 3 heads. This shows how powerful the Evil Eye clan is. Only the Sun and Moon Empire's soul guides could deter them, otherwise the original Douluo Continent would probably not be able to suppress such a huge group of evil eyes. Dozens of 100,000-year soul beasts are not scary. The most terrifying thing is that they are the same race. A race means that as long as there is one leader, there will be unprecedented unity, not to mention that the Evil Eye Tyrant himself is the best among the top soul beasts. Among the 300,000-year-old fire evil tyrants that Kong Deming knew, one had only two attributes, spirit and fire. This is also his goal. I'd better go up first, and after I finish dealing with the Evil Eye Tyrant, you can help me absorb it. Although it would waste time taking Suyu back and forth, Kong Deming felt that this risk was very cost-effective. Otherwise, taking Suyu into the depths of the demonic forest would be even more dangerous. The Evil Eye Tyrant all has spiritual attributes. Even if he has an extra fire attribute and is not the strongest in spiritual attributes, the intensity of his spiritual power will far exceed that of an ordinary Super Douluo after 100,000 years. Any mental interference or mental shock could cause Suyu to ascend to heaven directly on the spot. This is still indefensible. Even the improved version of Jing Hongchen's blessing of the red dust won't work. It can be used to prevent it for a while, but it cannot be used to prevent it forever. Mental shock is an instinctive ability for the Evil Eye Tyrant, and it may explode at any time and at any time. With Suyu, not even Kong Deming dared to say that he could kill an evil-eyed tyrant in 9 seconds. Therefore, it is better for Suyu to stay outside, on the outskirts of the evil forest. Kong Deming left Suyu at a relatively secluded beach. A level 9 soul shield was activated by him to protect Suyu and hide his soul power fluctuations to prevent soul beasts from following his aura. At the beach, with the sea breeze blowing, Suyu happened to be studying the intermediate battle armor. The technique of intermediate battle armor is a bit difficult. Jing Hongchen's compression technology can solve the portability problem of mid-level armor, but it is helpless for high-level armor. It's not that Suyu deliberately relied on the original 4-character battle armor system, but that the battle armor wanted to develop in only a few directions. Advanced battle armor must achieve the true fusion of the battle armor and the soul master, the kind that can be integrated into the body. Therefore, the use of compression technology in mid-level battle armor is actually just a delaying strategy. Spiritual training is what Suyu is about to start exploring. Yi Lao, do you have any method to integrate rare metals into the soul master's body? Before groping, Suyu still asked Yi Lao. Forging metal into the soul master's body. Yi Lao recalled the means he had mastered, although he didn't know whether there were such methods in the Douluo plane. At least among Yi Lao's own methods, there were no similar methods. In his world, equipment can be directly summoned by summoning magic. I have never seen a method that is truly integrated into a soul master and can be popularized. Yi Lao can refine the artifact himself, so he can naturally integrate it into the soul master, and even put it directly into the soul master's spiritual sea without any problem. But the key is that Suyu now needs to use this technology to make intermediate battle armor. There is no such method, but I master contract magic and blood contract. With these two abilities, I might be able to develop the technology you want by learning from the Soul Master's Soul Ring system. Suyu's eyes lit up. This is what is wanted. The requirements for spiritual training are too high. For a Soul Master, it is absolutely impossible to practice an additional blacksmithing technique, which may not be possible without specialization. It is better to continue to place hope on the core array. Of course, this does not mean that rare metals are simply forged, but the process of spiritual forging is replaced by magic circles such as blood contracts. Under Yi Lao's guidance, Suyu began to transform contract magic and blood contract techniques into the form of core magic circles. At the same time, Yi Lao also helped Suyu research the method of spiritual transformation. Awakening metal spirituality. Interesting idea. Yi Lao found Suyu's idea very interesting. The important thing was that he really studied the feasibility of Suyu's idea. Metal is spiritual. This is the core essence of the development of a blacksmith. Unknowingly, half a month passed. In Suyu's spiritual sea, Yi Lao sighed. The rules of the Douluo plane are really magical. The 5th update is probably at midnight, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the afternoon, a total of 4 chapters, and another chapter in the morning, maybe 4 or 8 o'clock in the afternoon. Chapter 94 Yi Lao's Discovery. please subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Lao lamented the magic of Douluo rules. Any existence in the Douluo Continent has the hope of awakening their own spirituality, so as to transform and become a soul beast. Become a soul beast? Douluo caught a glimmer of inspiration. Elder Yi continued to speak. That's right, become a soul beast. If the method of spiritualization you mentioned is successful, it actually means to induce rare metals to become soul beasts. It's just that rare metals can't be cultivated even if their spirituality is awakened, and they don't have the ability to passively cultivate, not even as good as plant soul beasts, but after awakening the spirituality of rare metals, it is completely possible to regard this spiritualized rare metal as a soul beast. By completing the contract with it in a special way, it has the hope of merging with the soul master. Douluo's eyes widened. Yi Lao's explanation made sense to him. Spiritual training is to become a soul beast. Is soul forging meant to increase the age of the soul beast? There is also Tianduan. It seems to be going through a catastrophe. Does that mean that rare metals are forged into 100,000-year-old soul beasts? Douluo took a breath. In this case, as long as the method of spiritualization is researched, and then the method of increasing the life of the soul ring is studied, the research on the development of soul forging and heavenly forging can also be considered completed. Yi Lao, can you sum up the method of spiritual transformation? Yi Lao touched his beard. He is also very satisfied with the gains in the research, and is very surprised by the rules of this Douluo plane. Worlds, full of wonders. Douluo is like this. What about other planes? There must be other planes. What is their training system? What are their plane rules? The method of spiritualization is not difficult, but the outline of the magic circle is not so easy. The difficulty of this magic circle will be beyond imagination. According to the complexity of the magic circle corresponding to the level of the soul guide, it is at least level 7. Douluo has now fully mastered the production of the 5th level soul guide, and has finished digesting the theory. The theory of the 6th level soul guide has also been studied, and is currently in the digestion stage. Although the 7th level soul guide has been slightly studied, but he definitely can't learn this method of spiritualization. Douluo was not in a hurry. In that case, I'm sorry to trouble you, Yi Lao, I can't master the method of spiritual transformation for the time being, so I will first perfect other aspects of the intermediate level battle armors techniques. The linkage of soul rings is also a research topic. Douluo started to feel something after exploring for half a month. Boom! Douluo felt an earth-shattering vibration. The teacher took action. Like last time, Kong Deming prepared for a long time and waited for more than half a month before finally finding the opportunity to launch an attack. The sound of several level 9 soul cannon bombings rang out, and the waves spread throughout a small half of the demonic forest, so you could vaguely feel the violent mental fluctuations even from an unknown distance away. After the evil eye is defeated, it can turn into a crystal and take the crystal away. Theoretically, it can be taken out of the evil forest and then completely killed to absorb the soul ring, but there are almost no means to break the crystal. Even the Sun and Moon royal family, which knew the Evil Eye clan well, was at a loss what to do, especially the 100,000-year-old evil-eyed Tyrant. If he fails to kill instantly and completely end the opponent's life before he turns into a crystal, then he can only wait for the crystal to dissipate in the wind, and this time will be decades. During this process, we must always be on guard against the evil-eye Tyrant's counterattack. Kong Deming, who had an absorption experience, knew that to hunt down the evil-eye Tyrant, he would have to kill him completely before he turned into a crystal. Instant kill. The evil-eye Tyrant, who has ice or fire attributes, has a certain impact on his ability to turn into crystals. This is also the reason why he can succeed. A large number of level 9 soul-guided cannonballs were fired, seriously injuring the fire evil Tyrant, and Kong Deming's mental power surged instantly. God! The runes took effect, and his mental power seemed to be stimulated, becoming twice as powerful in an instant. This God character is Kong Deming's only rune besides the condensation, gathering, and yang runes, and it is also the rune he is truly specialized in. A strong disturbance burst out from his mental power. Silver Moon Martial Spirit's 9th soul skill, Mental Paralysis Ray. The fire evil Tyrant was struck, and even with the abilities of his own race, he was not immune. His mental energy was in a trance for an instant. His severely injured body was still struggling with whether to turn into crystal. but his consciousness was completely blank at this moment. Boom! 9 long sticks were arranged around Kong Deming's body, and the energy was interconnected and circulated. The terrifying soul power condensed into an energy beam, Joji Aurora. Boom! The body of the fire evil tyrant completely collapsed. When consciousness is blurred and the body collapses, the crystal stone must be condensed when the spiritual body gathers itself in the unconscious state. Of course this process is much slower. The ninth soul skill, Mental Blast, originally evenly matched in terms of mental strength. Now that the fire evil tyrant has fallen into an unprecedented weak state, Kong Deming is completely in a crushing position. Under the mental explosion, the fire evil tyrant's soul was completely wiped out. Kong Deming immediately opened the 9th level soul shield, shrouded the body of the fire evil tyrant, and protected the soul ring within it. The soul shield also has the function of isolating the breath. After notifying Suyu, he activated his 9th level purple and gold wings with all his strength, as fast as lightning. Suyu was informed, stopped all research, packed up his things and waited for the teacher. In 2 minutes, Kong Deming crossed the inner and outer areas of the evil forest, arrived at the beach where Suyu was, picked up Suyu, and returned to the place where he killed the fire evil tyrant in another 3 minutes. Quick! Race against time. The death of the fire evil tyrant will not attract the evil emperor's attention for the time being. The fluctuations in the battle just now seemed to other evil eye tyrants that it was entirely possible that the fire evil tyrant was in conflict with other soul beasts. This is extremely common in the soul beast forest. At the moment before death, the evil fire tyrant failed to send out any mental fluctuations to notify the other evil eye tyrants, which made Kong Deming relieved the most. Teacher, do you need to recover? No need, just absorb it. During the absorption process, you provide me with vitality and I can recover at the same time. Good. Kong Deming deployed 5 level 9 soul cannons around. Each one has his or her own abilities. If there are those who are short-sighted and don't listen to advice, just activate them directly. The level 9 soul cannon was set in a quasi-excited state by Kong Deming. So you only needed to press the switch to absorb the soul power of the huge milk bottle and complete the launch. So you connected the 5 soul cannons with his mental power and confirmed that he could adjust the muzzle direction with his mental power to complete the aiming. He was relieved. After everything was ready, Kong Deming began to absorb the soul ring. A blood-red soul ring was wrapped around his body. Circles of soul rings emerged from Kong Deming's body, including 4 black and 1 red soul rings, plus the outermost blood-red soul ring that had not yet been refined. A massive amount of soul power burst out from the 100,000-year soul ring and poured into Kong Deming's body. Suyu mobilized the Blade of Life and injected vitality into it. Chapter 95 Eyes of Ice and Fire, Soul Guide Ring Technology. Please read it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. For the sake of safety, Kong Deming was not prepared to spend too long on this absorption. In the process of absorbing the soul ring, Kong Deming's tightly closed eyes trembled and his brows furrowed. Seems to be suffering some kind of pain. An aura of fire emerged from his eyes, along with an aura of ice. Suyu mobilized the vitality injection of the life blade and guided the first soul skill and the second soul skill to help Kong Deming refine it. He also saw what it was, attached soul bone. 2 attached soul bones. Eyes. In this regard, he had to lament the teacher's luck. Suyu's role is to assist in refining soul rings and soul bones. The huge vitality of the living blade can almost continuously maintain the soul master at its peak state, and there is no need to worry about it at all. Kong Deming's efficiency in refining the soul ring is always at the maximum power, without even considering the impact of the soul power on the meridians, refining at the fastest speed. As for the excess damage, Suyu mobilized the power of life to restore it. 1 day later, the blood-red soul ring gradually shrank and merged into Kong Deming's body. Walk. After Kong Deming absorbed the soul ring, he didn't even have time to feel the situation, so he took Suyu to evacuate immediately. After the two left the evil forest, an extremely powerful spiritual force swept over the entire evil forest, and the terrifying coercion made all the spirit beasts tremble. Fortunately, let's go, find a place to rest first. Kong Deming squatted for more than half a month, hunting and absorbing spirit rings. He was exhausted. Teacher, your absorption time is so short this time, you haven't refined your vitality enough, and have you improved your physique enough? Datsuyu was slightly worried. Kong Deming waved his hand and said, no problem, I can feel that my physique has improved a lot. No matter what, the fire evil tyrant is still top-notch among soul beasts. Even if he has a main spiritual attribute, his soul ring's physical improvement is not comparable to that of other soul beasts. Of course, the most important thing this time is that my spiritual power has greatly improved. Kong Deming's previous mental power had only reached the tangible and intangible stage, and he had traveled a certain distance at this stage. Now that he has absorbed the soul ring of this fire evil tyrant, his mental power has at least doubled. Not only has his mental power reached a tangible and intangible peak, it has at least reached an advanced stage. When the mental power is strong enough, it can interfere with reality, and by the same token, it can bear part of the pressure of the soul ring for the soul master. Of course, this pressure is only briefly borne during the absorption process. After all, the body cannot bear it, but there is still plenty of mental power. Even if you cannot directly withstand the pressure of the soul ring during the absorption process, you can use your mental power to strengthen your physical body, making it easier for you to survive the process of absorbing the soul ring. This is a point that Kong Deming focused on after his spiritual power reached the realm of tangible and intangible. Mental power temporarily strengthens the physical body. These are also some of the measures he has taken in the past for his lack of physical fitness. This fire evil tyrant has improved me the most, far surpassing the previous 100,000-year-old red golden bird. Xiaoyu, remember in the future, if you absorb the evil eye tyrant's soul ring, during the process of absorbing the soul ring, try your best to guide the soul power of the soul ring into the eyes. The spirit bones of the Xian family have a great chance of having external spirit bones like eyes. In particular, a 100,000-year-old soul beast must produce soul bones. The condensation of this soul bone is not originally retained in the soul beast's body, but will only begin after the soul master hunts it, and will be completely formed in the process of absorbing the soul ring. Before absorbing the soul ring, it is rare to find soul bones, because the soul bones are formed during the process of absorbing the soul ring. With a little guidance of the evil eye tyrant's soul bone, there is a good chance that the soul bone outside the eye can be condensed. Datsuyu nodded, surprised by such trivial knowledge, but also helpless. His Bluesilver Grass martial spirit only intends to absorb soul rings with life attributes, so it is impossible for him to be an evil-eyed tyrant. Teacher, has the fusion of martial souls you envision been realized? Kong Deming smiled happily. Congratulations, teacher. Self-spirit fusion technique, although due to his own martial soul fusion skills, even after the martial soul fusion, the soul power of two soul masters is not blended and fused. It is still the soul power of the same person, and only the martial soul is fused, but it is also extremely powerful. Without the soul power support of the two people's fusion, one person has to bear the responsibility, but it also eliminates the inconvenience of two people using martial soul fusion. The upper limit of explosive power has also been increased. Now the conflict between the two martial spirits can be partially reconciled by themselves. When the martial spirits merge, my state will also be strengthened. If I absorb the soul ring in this state, it can offset part of my pressure. The fusion of martial arts also requires that the gap between the two parties should not be too large, and the conflict still exists, but the fusion of martial arts itself uses the commonality between the two to suppress this conflict as much as possible. Kong Deming calculated carefully and found that he was now quite close to absorbing the seventh soul ring. Teacher, if the soul rings are linked in advance, can you directly absorb the seventh soul ring? Datsuyu asked as he thought about half of the soul ring linkage technology he had developed. Have you developed the secret technique of connecting rings? Kong Deming looked surprised. At the beginning, he chose to construct the Yang character script instead of developing the linked secret technique because the development of the linked secret technique couldn't be too simple. Suyu smiled bitterly and shook his head. Of course not. I just used the soul guidance device and the fusion soul guidance technology to initially figure out the direction of auxiliary soul ring linkage. Kong Deming said oh and nodded. This will make it understandable. The direct linking secret technique cannot be developed overnight, but it is much easier to achieve linkage with soul rings with the help of external objects. This was the opinion he had put forward with Su Yu's mid-level battle armor before. Due to time constraints at that time, he did not think about how long it would take for the technology to complete soul ring linkage with foreign objects to be developed and be useful to him. Have you found the direction yet? Kong Deming calculated again. If the second martial spirit completed the link, it would increase his physique again, although this increase with the help of foreign objects will be temporary, and the body will fall off after exiting the link, but after absorbing the seventh soul ring, it will be a permanent passive increase. It can be done. Kong Deming asked Su Yu in detail about his current progress and ideas. The master and apprentice did not return to Mingdu. They planned to develop and perfect the soul guide ring technology first, and then hunt down a 100,000-year-old soul beast before returning to Mingdu. With the addition of Kong Deming, Su Yu's inspiration and intuition, and Kong Deming's background, the entire development process went extremely smoothly. In the blink of an eye, half a month passed by. Good disciple, let's go on and absorb the soul ring. Chapter 96 Dragon Valley. Please subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With Kong Deming's participation, Su Yu's progress in soul guide ring technology has been rapid. After all, Kong Deming's first martial soul had already reached the level of linking the rings, and his soul guide technology was higher than that of Su Yu. At level 5 and below, Su Yu dared to say that he was no worse than his teacher, but he was still far behind in more advanced soul guidance theory. In the past half-month, he has also been studying the theory of soul guidance. He had already mastered the 5th level soul guidance theory, and he had studied most of the 6th level theories by himself. Under Kong Deming's guidance, he thoroughly digested it, and at the same time he also began to understand the 7th level theory. Even with the help of the amplification of the primary battle armor, Su Yu used the Soul Emperor's power to personally make a 6th level soul guide, the level 6 flying soul guide. The soul guide wings were temporarily configured for his junior battle armor, and they were also an attempt at the wings for the intermediate battle armor. It is now a trial run. If the effect is good, he will continue to upgrade the soul guidance array and add it to the core array of the intermediate battle armor after reaching level 7. For the 7th soul ring, Kong Deming needs to find the soul ring that is most suitable for his son martial soul. The red gold bird is actually quite consistent with his son martial spirit, and it was also the 7th spirit ring he had reserved for himself from the beginning. Now that he had absorbed the 100,000-year red gold bird in the 5th ring, he could only look for other 100,000-year soul beasts again. There are rumors that there are traces of the fire phoenix on the south coast of the Sun and Moon continent, but there is no definite information and it is difficult to find. There is a dragon valley in the southwest, but it has always been extremely dangerous. Even a super Douluo would have a narrow escape if he went in. However, it is said that there is a fire attribute aura that is extremely strong and young in the Dragon Valley, which is suspected to be a 100,000-year-old fire attribute dragon soul beast. Kong Deming was very familiar with the 100,000-year-old soul beasts in the Sun and Moon Empire. Su Yu's mouth twitched every time he heard him asking about the whereabouts of these 100,000-year soul beasts. How long have the Sun and Moon royal family been thinking about these 100,000-year soul beasts? Finally, Kong Deming decided to walk south along the outer edge of the demonic forest. The demonic forest is located in the west. Head south to the southwestern coast of the Sun and Moon Empire and go to the Dragon Valley. If it meets the requirements, then hunt it. If it does not meet the requirements, then you can only try your luck to find the fire phoenix. The process of finding soul rings is boring. A suitable soul ring often takes a long time to find, especially when it comes to the 7th soul ring, which also requires 100,000 years. It took the master and apprentice 10 days to finally find the location of Dragon Valley. So you waited outside for half a month before the teacher came back. No fighting broke out this time, which meant that Kong Deming did not find a suitable target. Alas, there are many dragon-attributed soul beasts in the Dragon Valley, but they are all infected with dragon energy and mutated. The true deepest part of Dragon Valley is a space crack. The power of space is extremely mixed, and the power of rich dragon attribute bloodline escapes, creating Dragon Valley. And that space crack, even with my strength, cannot guarantee my own safety. If a space crack is a passage, that's it. If it is just caused by a simple tearing of space, entering it will lead to death and no life. the breath of the fire dragon also emerged from the cracks in the space. Preliminary judgment shows that the space crack is not just a crack, but should be connected to a terrifying zone on the opposite side. The breath coming out through the space cracks far exceeds the breath of ordinary 100,000-year-old soul beasts. It is estimated that the fire dragon is at least at the level of a ferocious beast. Moreover, in addition to the breath of the fire dragon, there is also a large amount of real dragon breath. Kong Deming did not enter rashly. Suyu was shocked when he heard what the teacher said. If you really want to say that, then this Dragon Valley is not connected to that Dragon Valley, right? The teacher really made the right choice by not entering rashly. If Suyu remembered correctly, the space in the small world of Dragon Valley was extremely unstable, and it seemed that only soul masters below the Soul King could enter. Teacher, is the space crack stable? That if I remember correctly, Dragon Valley is a place of treasure. The space crack is quite stable, but the space storm is quite strong, and the aura of the real dragon on the other side is too strong. Teacher, use the soul guide to explore the path. It's full of real dragon breath. Suyu suggested. There is Yi Lao in his mind, so he should still be able to judge whether the space crack is dangerous. When the time comes to use the soul guide to explore the path, it can be guided in the right direction. Kong Deming also hesitated after listening to what Suyu said. The space cracks lead to nowhere, which is the most unpredictable, but if you just use the soul guide to explore the path, you can try it first. Kong Deming caught Suyu, protected Suyu with his soul power, and took him deep into the false Dragon Valley. The dragon-attributed soul beast sensed Kong Deming's powerful soul power one by one, and they all realized what was going on and did not come to cause trouble. This is the space crack. Kong Deming put down Suyu and told Suyu to stand still and not to be sucked in by the energy of the space crack. What's happening on the other side of this spatial rift is terrible. Arriving in front of the space crack, Lao in Suyu's spiritual sea spoke out. The other side is full of real dragons. Calculated by the age of the soul beasts in your Douluo Continent, they are all at least 100,000 years old, and there are probably many at the level of ferocious beasts. However, among these dragon attribute auras, there is also a sense of death. I'm afraid there are dead dragons inside. Suyu narrowed his eyes and suddenly understood. It seemed that the opposite side was indeed the Dragon Valley in his memory. Yi Lao, is the space channel stable? In our current state, is there any hope of passage? Suyu asked in the Sea of Spirit. The power of space is chaotic, but the 8th level soul guide shield can hold on. Suyu felt relieved. It's just an 8th level soul shield. There are plenty of teachers. This is the benefit of becoming a disciple of Kong Deming. If it were up to Shrek, even if he had such an opportunity, there would be no level 8 soul shield for him to try. Teacher, I think we have to try to go in. I can't feel any breath of life. What? Kong Deming suspected that he heard wrongly. With such a rich power of chi and blood, this strong aura of true dragon blood, do you think there is no aura of life? But Suyu is the ultimate life, and Kong Deming stopped questioning after subconsciously asking, no breath of life. Is there a place of death on the other side? If you feel your feelings carefully, won't there be any trace of life left? Suyu had no choice but to act as if his mental power was fully stimulated and began to sense the existence of vitality. No. Kong Deming became active, such a strong aura of true dragon blood, but no vitality. Teacher, can you make a soul guide and throw it in first to explore the path? It would be best to send a signal back with a higher signal strength. Let me try. Chapter 97 Entering the Dragon Valley Alone. Please subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kong Deming started trying out the 6th level soul guide. It was only when the 8th level soul guide finally received a reply, but immediately the 8th level soul guide was broken during operation. Teacher, try using a level 8 soul guide shield to send a level 5 soul guide in. Kong Deming tried it doubtfully. Sure enough. This time, the 5th level soul guide has been emitting a stable signal after entering the opposite side. Set up different programs, launch them in the form of signals, and bring out the sent soul guide safely again. Suyu and Kong Deming then confirmed the safety of the other side through the image soul guide installed on the soul guide. You can enter the opposite side, and there should be a chance. but it may only be possible for soul masters with a level of soul king to enter. Kong Deming looked at Suyu. Xiaoyu, are you sure you want to go in? Suyu nodded, there is no reason not to enter Dragon Valley. The opportunities inside are not small, enough to make him reborn. Seeing that Suyu was very determined, Kong Deming did not continue to ask any more questions. Sometimes the soul master's intuition is very accurate. He guessed that Suyu probably felt something. From the very beginning, he heard the reaction of the space crack in the Dragon Valley and constantly persuaded him to try it with the precious 8th level soul guide, which is enough to explain the problem, not to mention level 9. Soul guides, level 8 soul guides would also be extremely expensive. Only he, Kong Deming, can be used to accompany Suyu. I don't know how big of an opportunity there is inside, however, the opportunity to have dozens of true dragon auras that are over 100,000 years old is definitely not small. Even if it consumes so many soul tools, it will definitely not be a loss. Suyu could no longer contain the excitement in his heart. From the attempt to the present, it took the master and the apprentice a full half a month to arrive at Yi Lao's evaluation of the space cracks. There is no way, it is a waste of time to make a specific soul guide, but this is also a necessary process, and Kong Deming must be reassured. It is estimated that the time to enter the Dragon Valley will not be short. Suyu has to pass this experiment to reassure the teacher. Teacher, I'll go over then. Suyu held a metal ball in his hand, which was an 8th level soul shield. It could be activated 3 times, once for each round trip, and once to prevent accidents. Of course, in addition to the 8th level soul guidance shield, Suyu actually has other soul guidance devices that can be used for protection. For example, Kong Deming gave him a 9th level divine light shield a long time ago. This is a soul guide that transmits information. It reports safety once every 3 days. Suyu took the signal transmitter handed over by Kong Deming, loaded it into the storage soul guide, nodded, turned around and entered the space rift. The soul guidance shield is opened, and the power of space cuts on the soul guidance shield. There were violent ripples on the shield. The damage level of the power of space is very high. The power of space here is just a normal flow, otherwise even the 8th level soul shield cannot withstand it. Yi Lao explained to Suyu. Suyu curiously observed the power of space outside the shield. In the space channel, his consciousness was quite concentrated, observing the direction of the power of space, and using the fluctuations on the shield to judge the flow characteristics of the power of space. Faintly, he had some realization, but he couldn't fully grasp it. Yi Lao also noticed something strange about Suyu and muttered in his heart, the first time I came into contact with the power of space, I didn't even come into contact with it personally, but I actually understood it. What a freak. It seems that in that Dragon Valley, I need to teach this little guy the basic theory of space first, and try to realize the power of space all at once when we return. Mastering the power of space is very important. It seems like a long time, but it's actually only 3 seconds. The soul shield was shattered and Suyu fell from the air. After rolling for 2.5 weeks, he landed on his shoulders, followed the force to remove the impact, rolled twice, and landed smoothly. Looking at the colorful clouds in the sky, Suyu felt excited. Long Yun, that it should be this kind of thing. The soul power cannot be mobilized, and the martial spirit cannot be released, but Suyu didn't panic at all. Suyu released the blue-silver domain, and the life force in the blade of creatures poured into the domain. Wild blue-silver grass rose into the sky and pierced the dragon clouds in the sky. Long Yun was stimulated and wanted to escape, but seemed to feel Suyu's aura and gathered towards Suyu. It's like a child who was woken up from sleep and was about to run away but saw delicious food. Long Yun, who was disturbed around him, did not leave, but rushed towards Suyu one by one. As Long Yun entered his body, Suyu felt a burning power flowing through his body. This energy flows through all the internal organs, limbs and bones, and it feels indescribably comfortable. Mental strength has also been faintly improved. In his consciousness, some colorful light spots began to appear. Improve physical fitness, enhance mental strength, and also increase affinity and resistance to elements. The improvement in soul power is not visible for the time being, but when you get out of here, there will probably be a significant improvement. The benefits of this Long Yun are not small. You should absorb as much as possible in a while. Yi Lao clicked his tongue in wonder, and at the same time released his spiritual consciousness to study the structure of this small world. Compared with the demiplane of the undead, this small world is much more complete. All kinds of elemental rules are almost complete except for the rules of world operation. After Long Yun passed through Su Yu's body, the color was obviously much darker, but there was also a touch of green, and it seemed to be much more vibrant. After Su Yu absorbed the dragon clouds here, he began to move around, looking for other places where dragon clouds gathered. Unknowingly, he spent 3 days in the Dragon Valley and absorbed a total of 9 waves of Long Yun's energy. After using his mental power to activate the signal transmitter to report to the teacher that he was safe, Su Yu continued to absorb. I don't know how many years of accumulation. The energy in Long Yun here is extremely abundant, and Su Yu has gained a lot. In just 3 days, he felt that his mental strength had increased by at least 30%. His physical strength has also been greatly improved, and the limit of the soul ring he can withstand has been increased by at least 5,000 years. In addition, various elements in Su Yu's perception became clearer. Su Yu is full of motivation. Roar! A beast roar came. Su Yu was not in a hurry, and his mental power had long captured the opponent's presence. It is faster to mobilize mental power in Dragon Valley. It seems that only using physical power is the most suitable here. However, Su Yu has several major runes such as condensation and gathering, and his mental power can be restored very quickly, so he is not worried about this consumption. The source of the roar is a wingless earth dragon with its feet on the ground. It has no entity, is transparent iron gray, and is condensed from energy. The sword rune vibrated. Su Yu's mental power seemed to turn into a sharp sword, piercing into the body of the charging earth dragon. The earth dragon's energy body collapsed, and a stream of pure energy poured into Su Yu's body. This energy is not as huge as Long Yun's energy, but it seems to be more aimed at improving the physical body. Su Yu, absorb more of this energy. Yi Lao seemed to sense something and asked Su Yu to hunt more of these creatures. Chapter 98 How to Increase the Life of the Soul Ring. Please subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Yu was a little confused. Although this type of earth dragon is more aimed at improving physical fitness, making up for the shortcomings of less energy, it is still far behind Long Yun in other aspects. The price/performance ratio is not high. This energy nourishes your physical body, and at the same time it also nourishes the martial soul, along with the soul ring. Su Yu opened his eyes wide. So awesome. Knowing that this Dragon Valley had an extraordinary origin, the energy here might be a little different. Yi Lao could see something, but he didn't expect this. This Dragon Valley is very extraordinary, and I initially estimate that it was completely man-made. Those who can do this are even better than I was at my peak. Directly in front of you, deeper in the Dragon Valley, there are no ordinary dragons buried there. There are many people who are stronger than your teacher. Yi Lao's comparison gave Su Yu a general understanding. The god-level Dragon King died here. The energy of these creatures is contaminated with a very high level of energy, and under this energy, the vitality of the heavens and the earth is gathered, concentrated, turned into a solid body, and possessed various wonderful functions. Especially this spiritual creature, that spirituality seems to be able to perfect your soul ring. Yi Lao's last words gave Su Yu an idea. Could it be that the increase in soul ring life is a lack of spirituality? Spirituality. In fact, it stands to reason that as long as you master the skills, the life of the soul ring should be increased by relying on the soul power for many years. But something is missing. Now it seems that what is missing is this spirituality. The soul ring is a product of rules. The essence of how many rules it can carry lies in its spirituality, not in its energy. After all, when absorbing the soul ring, the soul power is also absorbed and refined by the soul master. The soul ring itself does not have much energy. What truly constitutes and supports the soul ring is its spirituality. Su Yu nodded. He began to search for the living creatures in the Dragon Valley. Of course, Long Yun didn't let it go and absorbed it whenever he encountered it. Next he moved faster. In the blink of an eye, a month passed. After Su Yu spent a month in the Dragon Valley, his whole person underwent a transformation. For the 5th soul ring, I can absorb at least 60,000-year-old soul rings. After a month of absorption, although it will become more and more difficult to improve the physical fitness later on, it cannot withstand a large amount. Su Yu felt that his ability to absorb soul rings had increased by at least 20,000 years. Work harder and strive for the 5th soul ring to absorb the 100,000-year soul ring. Suyu said whimsically, but people have to have dreams. What if they come true? In addition to the direct improvement in physical fitness, the improvement in Suyu's energy and blood power gave him the greatest confidence. His chi and blood were so rich that they condensed into a solid form. This dragon cloud has accumulated for endless years, and the energy inside is extremely rich. The effect of Suyu's absorption is also extremely obvious. His energy and blood were nourished, and the power of his blood became much stronger. Suyu tried to condense the energy of chi and blood, and succeeded in condensing the power of chi and blood. In addition, Suyu's Bluesilver Grass martial spirit has also grown a lot. The growth in life attributes is minimal, but it is greatly enhanced in other aspects. Mental power is also at least doubled. And the affinity of elemental energy. Suyu has been able to simply mobilize various elemental energies between heaven and earth with his mental power. The increase in the age of the soul rings is not enough to bring about qualitative changes. According to Yi Lao, each soul ring has been upgraded for about 100 years. 100 years is very little, but Suyu saw the direction. He is not just killing monsters and upgrading in vain, but he is also seriously realizing the feeling of spiritually nourishing martial souls and soul rings every time he absorbs them. After a month, I also captured a feeling. It's a little dangerous to go any further. Elder Yi reminded Suyu, there is a strong fierce resentment ahead. There are too many high-level dragons who died here, and each one is full of resentment. Yi Lao's tone was full of emotion. What kind of accident caused such a huge dragon clan to die in this small world, full of resentment for so many years? Suyu received Yi Lao's reminder and advanced instead of retreating. Resentment. Fierce. Suyu is not afraid. Yi Lao specializes in this, so there is no need to be afraid. Electrolux did not take the initiative to help these resentments transcend. He could feel that this resentment also had its own mission. Transcendence is certainly a relief, but it seems that these remnant souls are willing to bear the resentment of endless years, as if they are waiting for something. If you don't take over the other party's mission, then don't do bad things with good intentions and ruin the other person's last will. Yi Lao only protected Suyu, but did not dispel the resentment of the remaining soul here. Suyu walked for a long time and saw the first dragon bone skeletons. Looking at the huge keel, Suyu compared it with his own small body. Well, burying the dragon is definitely out of the question. His life force bursts out and his spiritual power guides him. Even under the influence of the evil aura, there are still tenacious blue-silver grasses peeking out from the ground. Blue-silver field. Under the blue-silver field, blue-silver grass absorbed vitality and grew rapidly, quickly covering the dragon skeleton. The originally lifeless land seemed to have a touch of life. The dragon bone lies in the blue and silver grassland, as if it is inhabiting a vibrant wilderness. A stream of pure energy rushed out from the keel and merged into Suyu's body. Suyu smiled. Sure enough, this is also possible. After the first keel, there is the second one. Suyu worked tirelessly to cover these dragon bones with straw quilts. The energy in these keels can be given to you more than the energy creatures outside. The energy of a keel is comparable to what he gains in a day outside. Time passed, and it took 3 months for Suyu to enter Dragon Valley. Suyu covered the dragon bone in front of him with a grass quilt, and a pure energy entered his body. Feeling that his physique was no longer improving, Suyu was ready to leave. It didn't take long to get in. A burst of energy intercepted Suyu and pushed him to the area where more dragon bones were located. Suyu smiled bitterly. Seniors of the dragon clan, you can also feel that I only use people's money to eliminate disasters for others, just for the sake of opportunity. It's not long since I came in, and it's time to go out. Suyu thought for a while and said, let's do this. I will finally do my best for the seniors of the dragon clan. Suyu used all his strength to stimulate his mental power, and the life force in the blade of creatures surged out crazily. The ultimate burst of vitality. In the dragon cemetery, each small blue-silver grass was given a tenacious life. Evil spirits cannot erode their vitality. Perhaps in 3, 5, or 10 years, they can grow. Streams of energy soared into the sky in the distance, gathered in the air, concentrated, and finally poured into Suyu's body. The physique that was no longer improving suddenly broke some restrictions. Suyu turned around and left the dragon cemetery. Inside the space vibration device, the space was shattered, and the soul shield was activated instantly. Suyu felt the power of space with all his heart and did not waste these 3 seconds. In the sea of spirit, the character empty is gradually perfected. Chapter 99 The Silver Dragon King Awakens. Please subscribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the Dragon Valley, Suyu officially accepted the inheritance of Electrolux. He became Electrolux's apprentice, but according to Electrolux's request, Suyu continued to call him Yi Lao. Suyu did not inherit Electrolux's undead magic, but inherited Electrolux's light magic and a series of basic magic from other departments. Under the wash of energy in the Dragon Valley, Suyu's affinity for various elemental energies has been greatly improved, and it is also very easy to cast magic. Among them, Yi Lao also explained the basic theory of space to Suyu. Different from Yi Lao's original plan, Suyu, under the influence of Long Yun and his understanding of space theory, completed the outline of the empty character text as early as 2 months after entering Long Valley. After that, the empty character text was quickly improved. Before coming out of Dragon Valley, the empty character text had a purple level effect. In the space crack, Suyu, who was feeling the power of space safely in the soul guide shield, faced the power of space, and his perception became clearer. In his perception, the spatial elements were extremely rich, and the silver light spots pulled his mind. The mental power circulates on its own, and the empty character text is quickly completed stroke by stroke. The lines in the original runes were also modified little by little due to the flow of mental power, making them smoother and more natural. Kong Deming always practiced at the exit of the space crack, feeling the fluctuation of the power of space. Stop practicing. Xiaoyu, you are finally back. Feeling the aura of the apprentice, Kong Deming's eyes lit up. It seems that the harvest is not small. Teacher, I'm back. After walking out of the Dragon Valley, Suyu also felt like he was in another world. During this trip to Dragon Valley, Suyu could be said to be completely transformed. Moreover, just after coming out of the Dragon Valley, Suyu's suppressed soul power also began to become active. The soul power breath on his body fluctuated violently, instantly broke through a certain layer of boundaries. This is not over yet. The soul power aura is increasing step by step, and bottlenecks are broken one by one. It has reached a certain bottleneck that cannot be broken, but it is still accumulating, and the aura fluctuations are getting stronger and stronger. 47, 48, 49, level 50. Kong Deming felt the soul power fluctuations in Suyu's body and was frightened. In 3 months, he was promoted to 4 levels in a row, including the threshold of level 49 to level 50, which was comparable to 3 levels. What kind of benefits did this apprentice get from it? Kong Deming felt itchy, but now it seemed that Suyu was reaping the rewards and feeling his own changes with all his heart. He could only temporarily suppress it and observe Suyu's changes. Around Suyu's body, Bluesilver Grass grew spontaneously. Behind the scenes, the phantom of Bluesilver Grass exuding rich vitality emerged. Circles of spirit rings began to appear. The 4 soul rings, 3 purple and 1 black, are arranged in order. The 3rd purple soul ring was even darker in color. The lifespan of the soul ring has been increased. Hiss. Kong Deming took a breath. Could it be that the opposite side is the inheritance place of God? The information Kong Deming possesses is not inferior. In his opinion, the place where the life of the soul ring can be increased should be the inheritance place of God. Otherwise, it can only be some evil means. But Suyu's whole body was full of blood and exuded rich vitality. It was obvious that he had not performed any evil ritual. After coming back to his senses and feeling the changes in himself, Suyu was satisfied. After obtaining the 5th soul ring, regardless of the soul power brought by the soul ring and the automatically upgraded level of soul power, I can at least reach 2 more levels to reach level 53. Suyu silently estimated his current physique. It should be able to withstand 100,000-year soul ring. That the further you go to improve your physical fitness, the more difficult it becomes, but it really can't handle the large volume. The entire Dragon Valley may even be open to the outside world for the first time. Suyu absorbed all the richest resources, refined the accumulated Long Yun energy to its peak, and absorbed active organisms. Especially at the end, when he buried the dragon's bones, the feedback he received greatly improved his physique. Suyu didn't get any tears from the dragon god, but he also got energy supplements that were far more effective than those composed of peripheral active organisms. The last wave of feedback directly strengthened his physical body instantly and completed 3 consecutive jumps. Mental strength has also been cultivated. Entering Dragon Valley this time, Suyu's mental power increased at least twice. Kong Deming waited for Su Yu to digest everything and began to inquire about the details inside. Kong Deming was also filled with emotion when he heard the description in Long Valley. It is not the inheritance place of gods, but there may be god-level dragon corpses inside. No wonder it can increase the life of the soul ring. It's a pity that only beings below the Soul King can enter this Dragon Valley, however. This Dragon Valley is so magical that it needs to be strictly controlled and controlled. In the future, if a peerless genius appears in the Sun and Moon Empire, this place can also be used as a reward. Su Yu did not suggest where Yu Hao go, that thing is a child of luck. After entering, it might make some big noise and piss off the Silver Dragon King, which would make it uncomfortable for everyone. Deep in the Star Forest, in the core area of the Star Forest, which is recognized as the most dangerous in Douluo Continent, there is a lake full of vitality, with beautiful scenery. A spirit beast was playing by the lake. Her golden hair and whole body seemed to be translucent crystal, full of strange texture. The overall shape is like a lion, but its 4 claws are like dragons, and there is a ball of golden flames under each dragon claw. Under the hair are fine golden scales. The eyes turned golden, and there was a vertical pupil between the eyebrows, emitting a somewhat eerie red light. While she was playing, 3 figures, a man, 2 women, and others watched quietly next to her. Suddenly, the man turned his head and looked at the bottom of the lake. The Lord is awake. The 3-eyed golden beast, the soul beast that was playing just now, stopped and waited quietly for instructions. I'm going to meet the Lord. Detian's figure disappeared. At the bottom of the lake, in the dark and silent space, a pair of huge vertical pupils opened their eyes, and the terrifying aura escaped, causing the surrounding space to shake violently. My lord, Tian appeared in this space, knelt on one knee and said respectfully. Someone broke into Dragon Valley. A majestic voice echoed in the space. Detian's heart skipped a beat. Dragon Valley was broken into? My subordinates will go to Dragon Valley to eliminate all outsiders. No need, I didn't feel any negative emotions coming from Long Valley. On the contrary, that person seemed to bring a bit of life to that place. Ignore it for now. How is the 3-eyed golden cat now? Tian said respectfully. Xiao Ni is doing fine now. An extremely powerful energy swept across, and the 3-eyed golden beast waiting outside the lake was trembling, feeling that he had been completely seen through. The power of destiny is intact, but something unexpected happened. Lord, do you mean that Xiao Ni may lose the power of destiny? Her power of destiny is being targeted. Chapter 100 Searching for the Blue-Silver Emperor, Soul Ring Requirements, please read it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As early as a long time ago, the 3-eyed golden tiger was targeted by others. Since fate has changed, let's keep an eye on 3-eyed Genie and let her come to my place to practice for a while. It's time to teach her how to control destiny and how to seek good fortune and avoid misfortune. Yes. Teacher, I feel like my 5th soul ring can try to absorb 100,000-year-old soul ring. Kong Deming looked like he had seen a ghost and was doubtful of Su Yu's words. Does this Dragon Valley really have such a great effect? Ordinary soul masters may not gain as much as I did. Once inside the Dragon Valley, neither soul power nor martial soul can be used. Most of the soul masters below the Soul King lacked mental strength and could only rely on their physical bodies to fight. I'm a little over the top. The dragon clouds in Dragon Valley need to be condensed and replenished, and I guess no one has gone in for a long time before me. And the Long Yun energy inside is full, coupled with being attracted by my ultimate life. The energy of each dragon cloud I absorbed was quite a lot. Moreover, the number of Long Yun absorbed far exceeded that of the soul masters who would come later. There is also a dragon bone. This should be a one-time opportunity, and no one may be able to obtain it in the future. Generally speaking, the effect of Dragon Valley is good, but only this time. Soul masters who come to Dragon Valley to gain opportunities in the future will only have a physical improvement at most. If the limit of the soul ring they can withstand is increased for 5,000 years, they will be lucky, which is far from the truth. Kong Deming looked at Su Yu and looked like a kid like you, who is so lucky. There are really not many soul beasts with life attributes suitable for you in the Sun and Moon Empire. There is no record of 100,000-year soul beast. Well. Kong Deming was worried. I still have 300,000-year soul rings to collect, but as a result, my apprentice's 5th soul ring will also start to absorb the 100,000-year soul ring. It's outrageous. According to Suyu's conditions, it is estimated that the 9th spirit ring is more likely to absorb the ferocious beast spirit ring. After all, he only has one martial spirit and is strong enough to try it. Kong Deming was envious, but more importantly, he was proud. This is his disciple Kong Deming. Teacher, I can feel that there is a blue-silver emperor in the Sun and Moon Empire. This is at least 100,000-year-old soul beast that is most suitable for me. Send someone to look for it. Kong Deming was already immune to the various special responses possessed by Suyu's ultimate life Bluesilver Grass. Is there a specific range? That this stumped Suyu. He really couldn't remember any more details. He could only shake his head and said that he felt that the blue-silver grass of the Sun and Moon Empire was different from the blue-silver grass of the 3 kingdoms of Douluo Continent, and they belonged to those who had faith. Kong Deming nodded and wrote this down. When he gets to the next city, he will find a way to pass on the order. Teacher, do you want to continue searching for your 7th soul ring? Well, we have been out for more than 5 months, and the old emperor has been urging me to go back. Kong Deming smiled bitterly. The old emperor's life was short. The prince below, Su Tianran, is so ambitious that he even attacks his brothers and sisters. The old emperor was even afraid that Su Tianran would attack him because he thought he had lived too long. Kong Deming had only left for half a year and began to frantically urge him to return to the royal family to take charge. Although Kong Deming thought it was nonsense, he still felt that there was a high chance of it happening, although he didn't care about seizing the throne. As long as the blood of the emperor who sat in the Sun and Moon royal family was pure, he still had to worry a little about the impact of his father's murder, especially since Su Tianran is already a useless person. How will his bloodline survive after inheriting the throne? This is also a problem. There may always be hope for the old emperor, right? It's not like there are no examples of old people getting sons. The traces of the fire phoenix still need to be found, but they must be handed over to the Empire's intelligence department. Half a month later, Kong Deming and Suyu returned to Mingdu. On the way, Suyu digested the Dokai technology that his teacher had studied during his 3-month stay in Dragon Valley. Kong Deming's research and development capabilities are equally terrifying, and he is expected to reach the level of a 10th level soul engineer. He had successfully perfected the skills of the intermediate battle armor, only missing Jing Hongchen's compression skills at the end. He has also studied most of the advanced battle armor techniques. The biggest difficulty at present is the complete compatibility between the battle armor and the Soul Master. While Suyu was studying the theory of 7th level soul guides, he also understood the technology of intermediate battle armors. Although the advanced battle armor was the direction and idea proposed by him, it was for Soul Douluo, and it was the 8th level soul guide level. Suyu understood it quickly. By the way, teacher, I found some special runes in Dragon Valley before. Oh, Suyu took out the contract array and blood contract array. Kong Deming instantly became fierce. After carefully checking the 2 magic circles and confirming that they were not belonging to the evil soul master, I felt relieved. The Holy Spirit cult has the magic circle of blood sacrifice. Suyu said that he accidentally discovered the contract array and the blood contract array from the Dragon Valley, which made Kong Deming worry that the Dragon Valley was visited by an evil soul master. Now it seems that they are not on the same level at all. A blood contract only requires a small amount of blood as the medium to conclude a contract. Teacher, I want to use these 2 magic circles to complete the ability of advanced battle armor to integrate into the soul master. Contract the battle armor with the martial soul, so that the battle armor and the martial soul become one. Suyu's idea surprised Kong Deming, but it was just a slight surprise. What really amazed Kong Deming was the idea of spiritual training. You mean, by mining the spirituality in rare metals, you can transform the rare metals into existences similar to soul beasts, and then find a way to contract the rare metals to turn them into existences similar to soul rings. Kong Deming thinks it is feasible. However, he still needs to continue his research. He must first thoroughly study the contract array and the blood pact array before he can try it better. There is also Suyu's spiritual formation, which also needs to be studied carefully. Suyu wasn't in a hurry either. Now that all projects have been officially launched, the most important thing for him next is his own strength, intermediate battle armor, advanced battle armor, and even super battle armor that have not yet been developed, even if Suyu quickly increases his soul power level. He will probably be able to enjoy the benefits. What bothers him is the choice of soul rings. Souls can solve the problem. One Blue-Silver Emperor can provide at least 3 soul rings, but this would be too monotonous. Suyu's soul ring is not that he covets the soul skills of any soul beast. What he covets is the life attribute of the soul beast itself. After absorbing and becoming a soul, the feedback in this regard is naturally the greatest only the first time. However, you still need to refer to the soul method. After all, this soul method can also block many bugs and is of great use. Suyu also made this request to Yi Lao. Yi Lao said there was no problem, but it would take some time to continue research. Back in Mingdu, Suyu came to Mingda Hall and asked Xian Ziwen to discuss the intermediate battle armor technology, combining compression technology, Xian Ziwen's design of the core array of the intermediate battle armor, and Kong Deming's design, summarized a complete production method of the intermediate battle armor, and Suyu will definitely replace the junior battle armor that he just wore and make an intermediate battle armor. This is the 3rd chapter. The next chapter is at 6 o'clock, and the next chapter is at 10 o'clock, it feels a bit too scattered. Although there are updates almost all day long, it is so fragmented and confusing. I will try to update the 4,000-word chapter tomorrow. You can see if you can adapt to the 4,000-word chapter first. I feel like there are more words in one chapter and I can explain it more comprehensively, but there must be some readers who say it's watery. Let's test the water first and you can evaluate it tomorrow.